literacy and business literacy.
Yeah.
What's your view on that? Like, do they kind of fuel each other? You know, someone who's highly business literate, would we make an assumption that there is a level of data literacy that they carry, or is it, you know, what's your thoughts on that?
I think they better build on each other, right? Because you'll hear people talk about data literacy, but I think what gets forgotten is, what if you're a data scientist? Where's your business acumen? That needs to grow at the same time. We cannot forget that. Like, or else all you've done is you've created silos. And if you create silos, it might not work. Data literacy will bridge that. But that's actually where you were talking about Brent Dykes, right? That's where data storytelling really comes from, is bridging the gap, right, between the business and data. Well, everybody should have a base level, some kind of data literacy and business literacy, so that they know what in the world they're doing. Like, I think data scientists might be told, this is what you're doing. What if they knew why they were doing that? Not just what the assignment is, but the why would be, it's going here, then it'll go here, then it'll go here. Yeah. That's a big deal, right? And so I completely agree. I think you have to have both.
Yeah.
So there's this old saying, if you interrogate the data long enough, it'll confess to anything.
Yes.
And I think that's the risk here. If you do not have the business context and acumen, you might be finding something in the business that it's not really meaningful, and there's other factors that's outweighing that particular statistical finding. That you need to have context of, or history of, or these relationships there that overrides, you know, some basic data considerations.
Yeah, you're spot on. There's a tunnel vision, right? If all you know is, I'm working on this project and 5 other things are going on over here that this ties to, but you don't know it, that could be a problem. But if you have a good perspective on what it's going to be doing, you've got to remove those blinders from people so that they can see the big picture on things.
So I'll explore this, getting data literacy out there wider, and also the fear factor there. So there's almost a best case scenario and a worst case scenario, particularly when it comes to new and emerging technologies.
Yeah.
You mentioned ChatGPT, right? It's just one of hundreds of AI tools, but it's one of those that's crossed the threshold.
Yes.
It's made a tipping point. I mean, we've been looking at chatbot technology, NLP, sort of those engines for long, but they weren't very good. Yeah. And now all of a sudden they are. It reminds me of many moons ago. You know, you had internet banking on a feature phone, and you went like one hash, and you had 754 hash, and it was like, it's not practical. And then the technology of mobile interface came out, and all of a sudden that was the new standard.
Big leap.
Yeah.
It was that typical.
And I think ChatGPT is that same big leap forward in the AI space.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Everything's going to change, and in one sense, you go like, this is going to help data literacy.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have people now speaking to your BI tools, and your BI tools are going to answer, and they're going to bring back intelligent, contextualized answers, which was the dream, but it wasn't quite there. That should help data literacy, but there's also a threat that people start thinking critically. They stop analyzing, they stop being curious. They just ask questions and take. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword. What is your thoughts on that?
I think that I'm all for technology advancing along with the human. And what I mean by that is, I don't care what the tool spits out to me. I still need to interrogate it. I still need to question it. Does it make sense contextually? Does it speed up the process, that tool? Probably, because in the past it might have been me having to build all that first. But I now look at it that it is freeing up our ability, but we can't lose sight of that. We already do that with tools and things, right? Is we don't critically think on it. We don't interrogate it. We don't dig into it. No, that should be, if it used to take us 3 hours to do something, but now the tool does it in 5 minutes, that's 2 hours and 55 minutes of critical thinking that you can do. Thinking deeper on what you're looking at. Yes. Does it require different skills? Possibly. Does it require upskilling? Possibly, but we should be doing that anyway, right? Or else we could be run over by these tools, and jobs can be lost. Instead of looking at it that way, look at it and say, what a cool thing to enhance me. How do I get better with this?
Yeah, there's going to be a window of opportunity. And, you know, there's a worst case scenario. Yes, a lot of jobs are going to change. When something used to take 3 days now takes 3 hours.
Yeah.
You know, you want to be somebody who's got the skills to be able to do things in 3 hours. And, you know, if you don't, you know, if you sort of shun this development, you might find yourself on the outside. you're gonna have to keep abreast and sort of sense where it's going.
Yeah,
But
100%.
certainly, I get the sense that we're on the tipping point for analytics. I think the last big thing was dashboards and mobile analytics, and then it's sort of been flavors of it. It's changed,
Yeah.
and it's incremental changes. But this should be a game changer.
Yeah, industrial revolutions change a lot, but they also open up more opportunity if we're looking for it. If we get if we just sit back and cower and we don't want to deal with it, well then yeah, we might be passed up, and that might happen. But there's so many cool opportunities that come from this. It's just up to us to then utilize it appropriately.
Yeah, absolutely. I read this article that stated the reason why man's standard of living has continuously increased is because technology has allowed us to be more productive. Every single year there's new innovations that make us more productive. And just when you think, I can't do any more, I'm at the point of burnout, there's technology that comes and relieves the pressure, and we get to do more efficiently.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be fun to see where it goes over the next 5 years.
Right.